Okay, the Hangout on Air is now live.
Oh
Um,
no.
what do you mean it's not meaningful, Benj? Have you not looked at any of the news?
I mean, there's news. Um, I
It's
mean,
more news than we've had in I don't know when.
I was really happy until.
Sorry, what? Wait.
No,
Can we
I
just
really
pause
was.
there?
I was honestly really happy until the really
What
shitty.
have you done with the real Benj? I was
I'm
really
about
happy.
to go back. I was really happy until I saw the terrible logo for Warcasters, and then I
Oh,
felt
don't.
sad. I felt really sad, and then that was me.
I don't really care about the logo of the game. It's if the game's fun or not.
I get that. And I know you talk about a lot about the diversifying in portfolio,
Will
etc.
there be cat people? The logo alone suggests there will be cat people.
What?
Does it?
The
Does it
Kira-
really?
yeah, it does. The Kilrathi, they're just all over it.
Oh, the
Clearly, walking
killer.
tigers.
Are we go? Is this a Wing Commander episode? Are we gonna?
Wow.
Oh wow!
I have never played a Wing Commander game.
You have missed out.
Have
I
I?
am
Have I really?
older than you, and I played a lot of them.
I've played a lot of them as well.
So, just as a note as well, in the actual in the actual download of this episode, there is going to be like a half-hour bit in the middle, from John Garrad, if you know him.
Yeah, I do know him. Can that eat up like a half an hour of what we talked about?
Most.
Yeah, because basically he came on to talk about the Iron Kingdoms RPG,
Oh, cool.
and talk about his Kickstarter.
He's
Well,
got a Kickstarter.
I say he's. I'll link you to it. Tell you what,
Okay.
I'll put it in the thing.
We obviously know all about this already, Benj. Obviously, because obviously we should talk about it as if we know all about it. Okay?
We're not
That,
live.
it was a fantastic interview. It was amazing.
It's broadcasting on YouTube.
Yeah, but this is preamble.
Oh
so
yeah.
This goes at the end.
Yeah, I know. Just practicing.
Oh,
There we go. It's the Role Player's Guide to Heists. I shall link it in the chat.
Is it a
Role
book?
Player's Guide to Heists.
Is it a book?
Yes.
Oh.
Basically, it's a system agnostic book that's how to like the tools to design a heist for your players in an RPG.
Oh, okay.
So different kinds of like traps and security measures and all sorts of stuff like that. Plans, and I really like the fact that the book itself is drawn in a blueprint style.
That's quite novel.
No, it's
Can I
not.
ask an important question?
Oh,
What have I done with my junior hacksaw? You know, where is it?
I don't know. I could do with a hacksaw because I now have the oh god, what's it called? The
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Excellent.
no, the Iron Head. I have the Iron Head.
Oh, you do?
the hell
Oh,
is
you
the
want to
Iron Head?
adapt it, and it's metal because you got it from the UK and not.
Holy
from
shit, that thing!
I saw your post.
I sat there going. I mean, I knew it was going to be metal. I knew it'd be a bit hard to do, but Jesus wept. I did
Because you
not.
want to take the Cadre Jack, what's her face, and
Yeah,
mix it.
basically, I want to take the Bombardier bombshell
That's the word.
and attach the arms of the Iron Head. The problem is
That sounds straightforward, to be honest.
it's kind of missing the shoulders. So you do need to do a little bit of modification. And whether that means like taking shit to pieces.
None of this is helping me find my junior hacksaw. I can't work out what I've done with it. I did this last time, like a matter of days ago, and then I found it really easily when I.
I stole it when I went to your house, Kurt.
Oh,
It's
my
with me.
What is
God.
an Iron Head then?
Pardon?
What's an Iron Head?
It's where the Men of War came from.
What?
It-
Oh, that Merc thing.
Yes, the
That's fine.
Steelhead Ironhead, which is the worst name ever.
Steelhead, Ironhead, Steel Ironhead.
That is
Iron
genuinely its name as well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I was trying to have a look on your Twitter, but I got distracted by the Akira thing that was genuinely quite funny.
missed
You won't see the picture on my Twitter because that doesn't do pictures anymore for reasons that are best left to the imagination.
What?
Don't ask. Because Facebook doesn't cross-post anymore, it's awkward. There you go, Ben. The picture's in the Facebook chat.
Ah, yeah. That rings a bell.
Just look at the size of the thing.
Cut the chat I read to.
It's ridiculous. I need to get the shoulders off that. What I might end up doing is just file.
It's junior hacksaw, isn't it? It's a junior hacksaw.
I might actually just see if I can find a plastic Cadre man of war from somewhere and just take the shoulders off that because I don't care enough.
Somebody's already got the Oblivion book.
Oh, really?
Well, someone posted a picture of it on their desk, apparently.
Yeah, Hungerford.
Well, he's allowed to have
Hungerford?
Pardon?
it.
It
He's allowed to
didn't
have
look
it.
like Hungerford.
Hungerford certainly posted the book.
He's a bit excited.
Do you mean the rule book or the Oblivion book?
The Oblivion book? But
Yeah.
Said
is there
with confidence.
difference, is there?
Pardon?
Is there difference, is there?
Yes. Oh God, yes. So
There's a digest thingy.
yeah,
yes.
the Oblivion box set contains the Henchhold Doodah, that bloke.
Henchhold Doodah, henceforth to be called the Henchhold Doodah.
Yes, exactly. The Oblivion book, the Oblivion campaign sheet, the deck of cards.
Don't know what those are yet, but yep.
Well, the deck of cards are meant to be used in further campaigns. They
So I
offer
know that, but I don't know what they are.
they offer twists on things.
Oh,
And then you have the Rules Digest, which is the first time the War Machine and Horde's rulebooks have been in the same book,
Except for the big glossy versions.
except for all of them. It's just that they're no longer in the appendices; they're in the main rulebook now.
God damn.
And it is, well, it's Mark III remix. Which I was surprised, I was initially surprised, Benj, that you didn't know what I meant when I said remix. But then I realised you weren't around for any of Mark 1, so it made no sense.
I know
I
it. I know
I
it
could go and get
existed.
it. I could go and get the Mark 1 remix if you really want.
I knew it existed. I just didn't know any of the rules because I never bought the book.
So what happened with... This is episode content, really, isn't it?
It is.
Can we? Yeah,
Very
can we
good,
just
yes.
save it for that and then
Let's get let's get started. Get your coughing out now, lads.
I'm gonna
Is it
go
that
get my
bad?
day nurse.
Is it that bad to get a coffee? out?
No, it's day nurse. It's different. It keeps you awake.
You really need that bench because you have trouble staying awake, don't you?
Well,
Out days at a time.
wait,
Anyway.
what?
Hello and welcome to Elite Cadre, the War Machine Hordes podcast that doesn't take itself too seriously.
Does this
I'm
mean
Mike.
Does this mean we're going to interrupt on episode 100 or not? Can we just decide now?
Definitely. We need to get Alex to come from nowhere to interrupt.
Okay.
Or at the very least, record him on mobile phone so you can do it that way. Okay, I see
What,
where this is going.
Crackly,
Yeah.
all broken up.
From the submersible in his pond.
So better than normal then. Yeah. Okay,
Or we just have random static interrupting you and say it's Alex.
that's also fair. Yes. Anyway, I'm Mike.
I'm Kurt.
I'm a cold victim.
Who isn't?
Are you dying, Benj?
You know what? There was a touch and go moment last week, but now I just can't say words properly. And apparently that's never been.
R.I.P. Benj. I will drink in your honor.
I'm just turning into a Murloc inside.
Tonight I have a lovely Thatcher's cider.
Excellent. I've got a gin and tonic.
I'm gonna go get my day nurse. That makes it sound like I need a carer.
It does.
I mean, I wasn't going to say anything, Benj, but now you've gone there.
Fine. Wait,
Do you mean
did
a
we
new
talk
carer?
about? We didn't even talk about the Welsh, so we can we?
No,
cram-
We
This
can
episode was
quickly
delayed.
talk. Yes, originally this episode was scheduled for recording several weeks earlier.
and we just all went meh.
However, that's
4
not
weeks.
true.
No,
However,
it's not.
we are all very busy people, and we get round to recording whenever we get round to it.
Monthly, damn you, monthly. Moving on.
Basically, yes. So we haven't talked about the Welsh. I'll do a quick thing about the Welsh for me. I love the Welsh. I've been going there for years. First of all, as a player, and for a very, very long time now as a judge. Having been there since the previous venue, which
Yes.
I doubt many of the players actually remember anymore.
Some of us do.
Yes, turns out I've been going there for 9 years.
Ouch.
Oh yeah. I remember. I remember when it was just about like, was it 64 players?
Yeah, with different stuff on different days. Yep.
Yeah, and now it's basically Europe's largest single-player War Machine tournament.
Isn't 180 players in a single-player event the biggest?
It quite possibly is.
I'm not sure. But it sounds like it should be.
I wouldn't like to kind of rubber stamp that, but it definitely is. It definitely is. So this takes place at Firestorm Games in Cardiff, which is a lovely venue. If you've listened to us before, you'll have noticed me saying Firestorm's a lovely venue several times down the years.
It's a lovely city as well, to be perfectly honest.
Apart from at the weekends when it's full of stag do's.
It's entertaining.
But very cheap to get hotels in.
Just very cheap. Let's go with that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Have fun.
So I ended up reffing this immense 2-day tournament, and as with
you sat there playing your card games on your tablet.
Only between rounds, generally.
Scathing.
Well, I was going to say, the fact is that at this point, a lot of War Machine has almost become self-regulating, because not only do you have a rule set that's, well, really clear and concise, but you also have the thing where a lot of the real abuses that could be made of it have been removed, and people are just kind of getting on with it. I did have the usual sort of, selection of stupid rules questions. Thankfully, this year, I didn't have the question, is spell damage magical? Which I will treasure forever.
It's a good one.
Or the ever wonderful, what was it? Is a slam a throw or a push?
Nice.
And I that was one I did have to sit there and pause it for a few seconds and just go, I'm not sure what you're asking anymore.
You did add to your list, though.
You have got a good list. You've got a good list of stupid questions.
I'll tell you what, I'll do that for episode 100. We can the whole thing.
Stupid questions.
Because we got episode 100 coming up after this.
We should get Conrad to read the stupid questions. That somehow goes together.
Conrad. Oh, yes, he turns up for one War Machine tournament a year.
We go to, yeah.
Yes. But overall, I thought it's still a good event. I still think Firestorm has one of the best atmospheres amongst them. And I think a lot of credit is due to Martin Jenkins for running that event for 10 years, regardless of what state he was in with War Machine at the time. And I think he deserves an awful lot of praise for what he did and how many people left those events really happy over the years.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And other events alongside it. But yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So in future, the Welsh Masters, well, previously the Welsh Open, now the Welsh Masters, will be going over to Byron, who anyone who's been to Firestorm or actually been to quite a lot of tournaments around the country, they will know Byron. He's a great guy, and to be honest, I'm not sure the Welsh Masters could be in better hands going forwards.
I'm trying not to say anything about Cthulhu.
What? Because he sold you Cthulhu? Well, he sold you on Cthulhu Wars.
It's over there. I can see it. It's over there. It's over there.
With all 3 billion figures.
So, well, I don't have all 3 billion. I just have the initial 500 million starter set, and I have one extra box and a map set.
Oh,
and some extra cards.
But
that's barely starting, to be honest.
There are Kickstarters like that I look at every so often and go, yeah, but the models are really pretty. And then
oh my god, it's so good.
The voice in my head just goes, you don't want it, you know.
Oh,
You'll never paint them.
Well, you don't have to. You don't really have to paint Cthulhu. It's just Cthulhu Wars for anybody that cares. It's amazing.
Yeah, this wasn't Cthulhu Wars I was looking at. It was something else. I forget the name of, but it was like for 400 quid you can have everything in a box the size of Leeds.
400 quid would not get you everything for Cthulhu Wars.
Yeah. Anyway, I feel this is slightly off topic. Kurt, you actually played.
I did. Contrary to popular belief, I turned up with an army and I played Crucible Guard for 7 games in 2 days.
so tell us how soul crushing this was.
I really enjoyed it all round. Really, really enjoyed it. I'm quite satisfied at the end of day 1 where I was exhausted, but I'd gone 2-2 by the end of day 1, so I was quite happy about that. Yeah, it was really good opponents, really good games. I know that he's still talking about it, so a good crushing defeat of Haley 1, which was really satisfying. I think it was Haley 1. I'm going to get argued with that about that, aren't I? Haley, anyway, which didn't just seem to happen the way everything went as right as it could. But aside from that, it was generally disastrous and fun. Yeah.
Good.
I'm not sure if we don't want to go into detail about lots of different games, but some really cool people, had some really good fun, had some really good games. It was outstanding.
There we go. Benj, any impressions from your end?
I enjoyed watching what I watched, so it was.
Because I mean, you were that one staff member who goes, "Oh, I can't turn up on the Sunday. It's too early for me."
That was not what happened. No, that is not what happened. Hush now.
There was a girl involved. Moving on.
What? No, that was not what happened in the slightest.
To be fair, I'm not going to blame Benj for that one, but you know, it's. I doubt your commitment to Sparkle Motion, Benj.
Excellent, good quote. Like it.
Yeah,
good quote.
I would add that the gentleman that I shared a room with was actually that was his first War Machine tournament event outside of little local games, and he was one of the first people that I played War Machine against in Mark 1 back in playing in the small shop in Yeovil, and he came dead last.
Oh,
so he's been playing the game as long as I have, which is 12, 13 years. His first like any kind of event. And yeah, he got wooden spoon, Signar spoon, the whole shebang.
I do feel that, and this is going incredibly off topic. Not that we often have one. I do feel that the longer you've been playing a game like War Machine, almost the worse you are guaranteed to be at it. Because
that's a fair comment, actually.
Because someone who's been playing a couple of years has come in, they've got the enthusiasm, they've learned everything that's out there, they're keeping on top of the meta. And then something happens and they go, actually, I won't play this anymore. But the people who've been there for like 10, 11 years, they're the people who go, well, this army was good 2 editions ago. It's probably still fine now. You know, they still think of terms of, oh, what will I see at tournaments? Well, there's Haley 1 and Denny 1. Sorry, hang on. P. Haley, P. Denny.
P. Daly, yeah.
Oh, I might see some Eve Lad if someone's feeling adventurous.
Eve Lad, nice.
Yeah. Like the people who've lost all touch with the meta, which is basically us in some cases, but still quite just enjoy turning up, rolling some dice and going, good game. And then eventually about round 4, finally finding the other people who are the same level and having that good game of going, right, let's roll some dice and stuff will go away and it'll be ace.
Yep.
So that's just my theory, and I think it's somewhat borne out by stuff.
I think that stands out rather well. Yes, it is a proof positive indeed.
I mean, how else do you explain Conrad?
Exactly. Yeah, I think I'd like to think I've got my finger a bit closer to the pulse than that, but certainly not on it.
To be fair, you are in the NHS, so.
Indeed, quite. Not right now.
Yeah. Although, by the sounds of it, you should be in the NHS right now.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, but yeah, he was. Yeah, it was entertaining. I think he was just hoping to get one win, just one win, one more. How did you know? Oh, this is going looking good. Oh dear.
Well, the thing is, someone has to come last at those tournaments, at every single one. I know that I've won the spoon at several tournaments myself. The classic being the first Welsh Open I went to, I actually won the Cadre spoon, which
Wow.
I still treasure to this day.
So I have a set of rather shiny things for Best in Faction when I played Minions several years ago at the Welsh, but I also have a rather nice Menoth wooden spoon somewhere.
Oh God, you were a Menoth player. Okay, yes, I vaguely remember that.
It's in the loft, but I have been. Chris Regard definitely seems to have trumped Menoth and Signar. For me.
Okay, yes. Well, there's a little bit for people on the Welsh Masters.
It was ages ago now. It was ages ago.
It really was. Time moves fast. Looking forward to it next year. I know that Byron's already kind of underway with doing stuff for it. I can't remember if he's announced the dates, but I'm sure they'll get around. And we'll make sure to cover them when they do.
We might even get him on to talk about it. Or
Steady
try
on.
to.
Calm down.
He's listening, probably. If he's working, he'd be
Oh,
listening.
he is. I see him in the YouTube chat. He's
So
just
he'll
said,
be liking that comment then.
yeah, he said evening and I'm sorry, Kurt.
For what? Oh,
I-
for the... Don't be sorry. I love it.
Yeah. So the other thing that's happened recently is, well, we had Lock and Load.
What's that?
Well, Lock and Load is Privateer Press's annual convention.
If you're listening to this, you don't know what lock and load is. There's a problem, really, isn't there?
Well, there might be someone who's new to the game who has mistakenly Googled War Machine podcasts, found a post from 7 years ago, and looked at these young, bright and shiny upstarts that were Elite Cadre, and, finally found us and gone, I'll give them a listen.
Do you
God
mean
help.
they didn't go for charity attack? They went for us. Is that what you mean?
Yes. The fools.
What?
To be fair, we offer a different brand of War Machine, let's face it.
We do. Well, I have been listening to charity attack recently, but yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of space for a lot of different opinions. We're much more on the crippled system side of things. But anyway. So this is Privateer Press's annual celebration of their games. You can't really say War Machine anymore because they're very much system spanning at the moment.
Warcaster.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Sorry.
So up first was Monpok, which I am not involved in, but Kurt still loves.
Gorillas. I haven't got any new stuff yet, but the apes are now back, and the apes were what I loved in the original version of the game, and the green. Oh, what's it called? The green Mean Machine, whatever it's called. But there was a small bit of part of the dinosaur faction that had this green van and a few humans that supported them. That's now spun off into a new faction. There's some giant 60-foot woman.
Yes, I did see that. That
well.
was a quite entertaining model. So the one that they showed there was the
Gen Con.
Was the alt sculpt from Gen Con, which is basically the attack of the 60-foot woman. Although it's going to be more than 60 foot to fit in with the scale
that I need to have.
Monpok. So I mean, if you like games like Rampage or films like Rampage,
Godzilla.
or Godzilla, I still need to see the sequel.
Did you watch Godzilla recently? The new one?
I haven't watched the new one.
It's good.
You mean the sequel?
I need to find time for it. But anyway,
King of Monsters. Yes, I have.
If you like those, if you like King Kong, Monpok is a game that's just based around that and just ridiculous. It has fully armed gorillas fighting aliens and
dinosaurs.
A dinosaur. It's. I haven't gone for it because I kind of said I'm not having any more miniature systems in my life right now. But if that's your thing, it looks perfect for it.
It's going to happen. It's just I've avoided it, but it's going to happen.
Fair enough.
So I'm sure I will talk about it at length when I've got it, the new one. But I think the Empire of the Apes coming back is a big sell for me.
So the next thing on Privateer Press's Roll O stuff, because they had a good, 20-30 minute presentation for their keynote, was RiotQuest. Which, in honesty, having watched how far it's come since last year, now, let's delve back into the mist of time to last year's Lock and Load. I will say the internet was quite skeptical of the quality of RiotQuest, given the video that Privateer Press put out about it. I think that's fair to say.
I think it's very fair to say. Yes, the internet was yes.
But some of the stuff we've seen in the intervening year has been very interesting. So what we're looking at is very much a small format game, 5 to 6 models a player, which is purely based around smack things in the face, pick up treasure, and win by having treasure.
Sounds like it.
Seems simple enough. We've heard from some of the people who play tested it that it is a real fun game. So it looks like it might be a bit of a going concern. The really interesting thing on top of this is that all the miniatures in it that we know of so far are going to become, active models in War Machine.
Yep.
So the most recent one that was announced was the fact that we are going to have Helga 2, who will be on a bike.
Yes.
Which I sat there and read, I mean, that's kind of cool, but weird. But okay, I can deal with this. We're getting Boomhowler 2, who's got a minigun, and there's a new version of Eris. The Iron Maiden is making a comeback with spikes everywhere. In fact, if you
I already have her.
yeah, if you've ordered the book, you have her, and I've looked at the rules for that model and gone, oh, that could be quite tasty with McBain. So yeah, Riot Quest. I mean, they even did a new video for it. It's in a much improved style. I will say, Hungerford did say, I'm doubling down on that video. No, what you've done is you've made last year's video work. Because it didn't have flash animation that looked like it was animated by a 10-year-old.
Yeah, it did look like a bad web animation, didn't it?
Yeah. So that was Riot Quest. Benj, any thoughts on that?
Is the bike canon?
As far as we're aware.
It's alternate reality universe anyway. So
yeah, it's
alternate canon,
alternate future. It's the Riot Quest present is what happens if
it all goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, if the present of Infernals goes extremely wrong. So that's where that stands. So
okay, I mean, part of my reservation is when the fluff goes off in different sort of tangents, I guess. Which is kind of my reservation a bit about Warcasters as well. But that's
let's hold off on that one.
Yeah, that's another one.
We're doing it in the order it is in. It was in the presentation.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
We talk about mini crate as well. We're at it because that's awesome.
I am liking.
Okay. For people who are you talking about the new mini crate line?
I'm talking about the preview for the next 6 months of mini crate, not the new mini crate. We can come back to Conan in a sec if you like.
What's the
not
new
really.
mini crate? Sorry.
So the new mini crate is mini crate is
the new mini crate is very small and she fits in a box and it's amazing.
It is Savage Worlds, which is Conan basically, and some other associated universes.
I care not for that
demon witchy hunter guy whose name escapes me. But
I'm not particularly bothered. No. It's not my thing. But for the people who do like that sort of thing, I'm sure it's absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But for the mini crate preview for War Machine for the next 6 months, I've always kind of thought there were odd bits of mini crate when I've gone, yeah, maybe, and it gets to like 2 days before, and I go, nah, and then for the deadline of ordering, and then I happen to have picked up a few from Alex, who had to clear out. But now I'm looking at the next 6 months, and there's quite a few in the next 6 months that I mean, the Trancer Dancer stands out for me because obviously,
So for reference, the Trancer for the Crucible Guard, there's basically a Rave Girl edition of that, complete with giant pigtails. Yeah, okay, it's kind of a thing. It's
big
fine.
Box, small box, cardboard box.
I was glad I hung around with my subscription for the Cadre one.
The one with the dog, the lady, the Lady Greylord. Yes.
Yeah.
So for reference, the mini crate ones that they previewed, for Trolls, you have the Brew Bearer.
Still not sure what that is. I'm wondering if that's the Rune Bearer Warcaster attachment. I'm not sure.
I would say that's probably the Rune Bearer. The only other one with that hairstyle is either Gristle or Janissa, I think.
But yeah, either, yeah.
But to be honest, given it's a Brew Bearer,
it does sound like it's a. It does.
Yeah,
it looks good. I like it. Yep, like that.
Yeah, that's fine. So then you have Medusonia, which I'm guessing is Abbey 2.
Yeah, I think so.
With snakes for hair. It's
snakes for hair, snake body, snakes.
Yeah, it kind of works. Yep, that's kind of as you'd expect. looks good. Looks about what they're doing. Non-metallic Newman, which I'm guessing is Aurora.
Oh, I see. I'd assumed. Oh,
Yeah, I thought it was Aurora.
okay.
What did you think it was?
I was confused by that one because I wondered if that was an alternate for one of the Archons.
So Aurora is Aurora Newman of
Oh,
Aerogenesis.
right. That's lack of information on my part. Yep, that makes more sense.
So it basically takes away her headpiece.
So it's a human version of the mechanical Aurora. Okay.
Well, she's not.
Cock
I mean, she's
for
not
convergence.
mechanical. I mean, basically, it's her with less clothes on. If you're going to be indelicate about it. Oh, actually, and she's got feathered wings rather than mechanical wings.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, okay, it's more organic.
Which isn't that counter to everything that they stand for?
No, not particularly. So, for Aurora, her mother, after having been turned into one of the convergence proper,
A cuckoo clock.
basically, has held back Aurora from being turned into one of like the full-on convergence.
A cuckoo clock. Sorry.
So the
Why the repeat was more funny for me. I'm not sure, but yeah.
So there is a reasoning as to why she's still like a warcaster, but mostly human.
Right.
They do have one of the Crucible ones as well, who's mostly human.
Yes. Locke. Yes.
Yes. And also,
What do you mean mostly human? She's entirely human, just with like an exoskeleton.
Yeah, she's got an exoskeleton.
Just
so
with a whole load of Ripley going on. Yes.
I'm guessing there's like a Nemo 4 going their way as well, but we'll get to that in a bit. We've got the shield bearer for Menoth, guessing one of the paladins.
Yeah,
there's a paladin Lord of the Wall solo. Yep.
Yeah. And I think that's it.
Yes, I mean it's the best for me. It's the most impressive 6 months. There's been odd models. I was glad to pick up Gorman de Wolf in sheep's clothing after the fact. I was glad to do that, but yeah, it looks like the best 6 months that I've seen. So I'm actually more excited about. I might even do a 6 month subscription depending on what the new 6 month model is.
Yeah,
which will be 1st of August, wouldn't it?
Well, I've got everything so far.
I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah, no, I've had a subscription
all
since the
in.
very start. Yeah, because I like a lot of the models they've been coming out with.
And also, you're quite the hobbyist. You like to paint a lot, don't you?
Shut up. I do. Actually, this year I have been painting. I in fact have models to my left to paint this weekend.
I know. I see you online crying about it.
Yeah, I can't stand painting 5 warjacks at once. It's just depressing.
That is hard work. I get it.
Yeah.
You can have that. It is. I've painted a lot of Crystal Guard in a very short period of time. Yes. A lot of my warjacks are not as well painted as I'd like them because you just get to a point of going, oh, that's enough.
Right. Anyway, so we've had the mini crate. Now came Oblivion.
Can I just have my bit?
Okay, go on.
Because I really like the Order of Illumination. Like, I'm totally all in for whatever that is. If it's a bolt-on to something fantastic.
You head there a bit again, Benj, because it's
Oblivion.
It's part of Oblivion.
It is part of Oblivion. It's 7 minutes in, but I just really love the landmate like Mano Wars, basically, just with the rifle.
They look awesome, and they work for like everyone. Well, no, me anyway. Yeah.
Just with the.
Sorry, do you mean the new
Witch Hunters in heavy armor?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're called yet, but that's what
they look like landmates. So
they do a bit. Pat Labor, let's watch that here. Yeah.
I don't like the Pat Labor film, but we'll go.
No, that wasn't Pat.
I like both of them.
That wasn't Pat Labor. That was Appleseed.
Yeah, I know.
Appleseed, you're right. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, which had Basement Jacks in it, weirdly.
Not the very terrible original one.
No, I'm talking about the CG one by Shinji Aramaki.
Yeah, I was talking about all of them, but I like to mention the
I like all of them.
one.
I like all of them as well. Anyway,
yeah. Anyway, let's move back to Lock and Load. So the next one up was Oblivion. Now this was the first time we've seen some of the key art that was coming out of here, and the first time we got some more interesting information. So the first thing, this was the kind of intake of breath from everyone. Theme forces are changing. and changing radically. So at the moment, it will say things like, for every 20 points of this, you get one of these things for free. Now,
or for every 30 points of this.
Yes, fundamentally, the system of if you are in theme, you get free stuff is not going away. That is still the basis for a lot of lists, and it's how they're tempering out of theme interactions, which I think is a valid concern. But what they're changing is how you get those free models, and they're changing how the theme forces themselves are composed. So they've generally said if you can play it in theme now, you will most likely, like 90% plus, be able to play that same thing after the changes. Some theme forces are being combined because they don't stand very well on their own. I believe there's a couple of Legion ones that are mentioned as combining. Oh, in fact, there's a list here. So for Crix, Infernal Machines and Black Industries
Right.
are being combined.
They end up almost the same, you're right.
Yeah. And for Scorn, Winds of Death and Imperial War Host are hard maybe being combined. As well as two of the Circle ones that are being combined as well. But in everyone now, rather than saying for every 60 points of Jax or whatever, you will receive requisition points. Now, at 25 points, you'll get 1 requisition point. At 50, you'll get 2. At 75, you'll get 3.
But that's the whole army. That's not of a specific model type. That's the army size. Those numbers.
Yes.
Not 25 points of anything. That's the army size.
Yeah. If you are playing a 75-point game, you will have 3 requisition points to spend.
Or whatever is free for that theme.
Yeah. So anything in the free selection is 1 requisition point. There is a hard cap on what you can have, but you will always get as many as you want up to the number for that points value. You don't have to worry about saying, oh, but if I cut this Warjack, then I can add 4 more points of units and trigger the next benefit and get a solo and buy a cheaper Warjack. And I think they've realized that was a little bit too much kind of insanity going.
I think some of it came back to a previous conversation we've had before, which is that some of the themes led heavily towards infantry machine, and we're trying to drive back towards Warjacks because it's War Machine.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that.
I think there's a little bit of that.
I
don't think it's bad. I think it's bad at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's bad.
That was the first change. The second one is the fact that we are effectively getting Mark III Remix. So, for those of you who weren't around for Mark 1, Mark 1 was released. Mark 1 was horrifically broken. I mean broken, like from here to Sunday, every rule. And then they released books that fixed things, but they weren't printed in the main rules. So if you wanted to check things, you had to have like 4 different hardbacks with you.
Sounds like another company's games.
And the cavalry rules are over here, but do they have the squad coherency rules?
These rules are only available in the quarter.
Yeah. So about halfway through Mark 1, they released Mark 1 Remix. And what Mark 1 Remix did was it took all these extra rules, combined them into one book, and then said, right, which bits don't make sense? Let's cut those, let's change them, let's modify this.
It was the first time we had simplification as well, to an extent. It was the first attempt at simplification of combining multiple rules that were nearly the same into... But, I mean, it was the first step, not the final one.
Yeah. So I came along with Mark 1 Remix, so I don't necessarily remember the game before then. But even then, there were some stupid rules. Things like Shield Wall. How did people play Shield Wall in Mark 1? That was ridiculous. Where you had to actually form an infantry square.
Yes.
Base to base.
Yes.
And if the unit had basically... Let's say you've got a unit of 10 models, and roughly halfway down, a line was shot all the way through, so now you've got 2 distinct squares.
Yeah, you lost it.
Yeah. No, only one part could keep it.
Yes. The officer with it, whoever. Yeah.
Which was insane. Let's just put that out there. But over time, PP have kind of chopped and changed their rules and made it into something that's vaguely recognisable now. So they announced that some of the things would be being altered. So War Beast packs. Warbeast packs are being axed entirely. Now, that does mean that they're having to reclassify all the models from Warbeast packs.
Both models of Warbeast packs.
Well, no. There's variations within the Warbeast pack itself. Come on.
There's 2 types, though, aren't there? There's 2.
Yeah,
I think.
There are 2 Warbeast packs.
Yes.
Reptile Hounds and Blight Wasps.
We all thought we were going to get them. They thought mini troll ones. No.
And to be fair, has anyone seen those on the table?
I've seen the bugs. I've seen the bugs, yeah.
Yeah, the Blight Wasps were for a bit.
Yeah, I saw those for a while.
Yeah. But anyway, they are gone.
Can't tell what the school ones look like. But yeah.
They are now all lessers. They will be changed
just like
a little.
Krabbits or whatever they are, yeah.
Yes, and much like with Krabbits, it is X number of points for X number of lessers.
And probably free ones as well. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Like Krabbits.
Now the next big one, and this has been Hills.
Are you going to get Hightis now? That's what you are, aren't you?
Yeah. Hills and Elevation are going away.
Just so that Hungerford could win a bet, as far as I can tell.
Yes, so he gets a free steak dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been clarified apparently on a stream today. So elevation bonus from terrain plus defense against range attacks is going away. Gunfighter is being reworked.
Oh, we didn't know
that. So that this is on the stream today. It's also talking about some theme forces being altered, which we've gone through.
I didn't know about Gunfighter.
What
does that mean?
Yeah, to be honest, Gunfighter's always been a little bit of an awkward one because there's a lot of
blank, and you've got there's a few ways it works, aren't there? You've got there's 3 different ways you can shoot in melee, aren't there? Point blank, Gunfighter, and the combined arms. We can do both kind of thing.
So no, it's 4.
Was that 4th one?
Weapons platform.
Yes, that's almost the same thing but different, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a whole load of things, and to be honest, they really should just be combined into one rule somewhere. But I know the reason why there's a differentiation between point blank and gunfighter.
Yes, one because melee and one is still range. Yeah.
But the really annoying one is that gunfighter, if you engage the person with gunfighter, it doesn't matter what their melee range is.
Yeah.
They can still shoot you. If you've got point blank, you can only ever make melee attacks at 0.5 inches with it.
Oh, yeah. No, well, they can engage you during their activation at your melee range. Yeah, with the gunfighter. Yeah, you can't make free strikes, and we've had this debate. Yeah, yes, moving on.
Yeah. So there's all that. So shooting into melee is changing.
Oh, Black Penny goes away then.
Oh. Here's what it says. Shooting into melee no longer randomizes targets if you miss.
Well, half the time people forget that anyway.
If you shoot an engaged model, it still gets the +4 defense bonus,
right.
But you don't have to worry about shooting your own models.
Well, half the time we did that anyway.
Well, I can't tell you the amount of times I've been called over to tables to see, does the +4 apply here? I'm engaged to a Colossal. Do I get this? And you just sit there and go, I genuinely don't know. There's too many exceptions to this rule. Like, okay, so how do we randomize it? Well, it's not only you and the person you're engaged with, but it's the people who are engaged with them. And I've gone cross-eyed.
And the maiden aunt.
Yes. Mm. Anyway, another thing as well is that while this will be coming to War Room and it will be available the first week of August.
Yeah.
So that is remarkably soon to, change every theme force in the game without a CID.
Yeah.
I'm getting nervous about this.
But everybody's all the same though, isn't it? So
pardon?
It's consistent though, isn't it?
Yes, that is true.
I know there's different effects of different things, and the troll forum is going so nuts about how much they love it. So
But yes, there will be a toggle available so that things like the WTC can actually choose which version of the rules they're going to go on.
Yeah, but only for like a month or so they're going to have that, aren't they?
Yes. Well, there are questions for Blood and Oil as to which one they're running with. For reference, I hope they choose the new version because whenever you're I would hope that any tournament always runs on the most recent version of the rules.
Yes, I would think so. I'd hope so. Otherwise, it's just confusing.
What else? Yeah, we won't see these in any form in CID. Yeah, and that's about it.
The melee, shooting in melee, that's interesting. Both sides of that, it's quite interesting.
Well, they took their first step towards that by saying that assault shots just miss, because they realised what a hellscape that one was. For anyone who's had...
Oh, there's another one. Assault is another one, isn't it? Assault's another one.
Oh, God, yes!
That's 5. That's 5 ways you can shoot when in melee. Okay, yeah, that needs an overhaul, doesn't it, really? Because there's nothing else that's got 5 versions of it. Even Pathfinder's a bit more unified than that.
Yeah. Oh.
I know there are others. But yeah, we're saying.
Wait, Assault is gone.
No, nobody said that, Benj.
Wow, Benj is really kind of drugged up and half listening, I can tell you.
I just thought Assault had gone, but...
He was concerned. It was like, what about all my excellent Menoth units with Assault?
No, wait. Have Errants even
So the Harbinger won't be able to assault anymore? Well, how would I play it?
Have Errants even got Assault anymore?
Fuck, I don't know what they've got anymore. I can't remember. I've got 2 rules in my head.
It would be nice to have a new rule book again, I guess.
One of the key things about this rule book that they keep touting, and I don't think it's legit, but okay, is the fact that it's the first time that War Machine and Hordes has been together in the same rule book, apart from all the others. I mean, yes, in previous ones it's been appendices only, but it's being moved into the mainline rulebook, and to be honest, if they just combined the games, just called it War Machine and Hordes.
Well, especially with Infernals being a weird neither, but War Machine, but kind of neither.
It's like, stop trying to put it as 2 brands. Just put it as one. It's fine. We all recognise it's one. They are the only ones still kidding themselves. I don't know why.
Sometimes I want to play a fantasy game when I play Hordes, and sometimes I want to play more of an industrial game when I play War Machine. They're completely different.
A nice fantasy game which has got warhogs in it.
Oh, they're so cool.
And roadhogs as well. And there's
even more so roadhogs.
Distinct technological bent to the pigs. But there we go.
Delusional there, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah, true.
I'm just
So yeah, and then they said, "Oh, it's we're absolutely done now." Oh, but there's one more thing, because this is the Was it the 15th or 20th anniversary of Privateer?
It's the 20th.
20th. So here they announced their new big thing, which
a new faction, which is going to be dragons and what?
Nope, no factions this year. But
all the wild speculation online was awesome.
Yep, it's was it Neo Mechanica Warcaster, which is War Machine 5K. So
wasn't Buck Rogers mentioned?
Yes, quite. So the story for this is that the Infernal Invasion is over, but the gates that they used to reach Kane are still open. And humanity uses those to go out amongst the stars.
Convergence were heavily hinted at, weren't they?
Yes, Convergence of Sirius is apparently a big thing in this.
And as the saviors of Oblivion, arguably as well.
Yes. So it's set 5,000 years in the future of War Machine. It is going to be a Warjack free game, apparently. So we heard. Which is still going to have focus on Furion Warcasters, but feature smaller model count and smaller units. So most units will only be 3 to 5 models. But we haven't seen any factions. We haven't seen any preview art. All we've seen basically is the logo and a spiel about how this is their skirmish game.
I thought they were going to be a really fast bike from a faction that looked a bit oriental. Or was I make that up?
Yes, quite. Moving on.
Why are we not formally endorsed? I don't know.
Yeah. To be honest, I was a bit confused because I thought Company of Iron was their skirmish game, but there we go.
I like Company of Iron. I still play Company of Iron.
Which is fine. It seems to have dropped off the radar a little.
It has. A lot of people have said the same thing, but I still enjoy playing it. I like it.
but yes. So that was the Lock and Load keynote in its entirety. What do we
There's a lot of
think?
it. I enjoyed it. I was impressed. I don't know what to think about Warcaster. I'm really not sure. I like the commit.
I think for Warcaster, personally, sorry to break in,
Don't know anything.
I'm going to reserve judgment until I see some more of it, because it all depends on if I can get games of it or if it interests me.
Very true.
It could be that I'm the crusty old Warhammer Fantasy player as everyone goes off to play 40k in the distance. Or should we not be making that comparison?
40k, 5k. Anyway, I do like the look of what's the silly hex-based thing that's the brain's gone?
Riot Quest.
I like the look of Riot Quest. That looks like it'd be fun.
It looks small and stupid and quick, and quite frankly,
stupid and quick, and stuff to paint and stuff that you can use the War Machine. I like the idea of Gorman the Mad, who is already a character that's been previewed. Who will obviously work for Chris Bogard. I like these weird alternate versions that can get thrown into existing games. I like the randomness of it. I like the way they try. I mean, Hungerfist discussed it at length about you might have a strategy, you might have everything else, but actually there's so many random elements to the game that your strategy could easily just go out the window. There's a lot of RNG involved in it. He
has said that almost anything he's fed to Matt Wilson so far about about Riot Quest, Matt Wilson's gone, yep, that's fine. Like, let's see how far I can push him. Apparently Helga 2 is the furthest he's pushed him so far.
Apparently he still has not had a no. I think what he said. He has not had a no. So everything he has said has been greenlit. And he's tried to get a no.
There was more Matt Wilson this year.
Yeah, there was. Well, because there's no... Moving on.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Sorry, what?
Other executive senior people are not there anymore. That's probably part of that.
Well,
a lot of people have transitioned from PP.
But it's nice to see Matt Wilson again, to be perfectly honest.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he's kind of the brains behind the operation, so...
The vision, yep. Absolutely. It's good. I like it. I like the... I also quite like the... you probably wouldn't like... I quite like the comparison and the discussions, interviews from years and years ago about Wilson about drawing warjacks and trolls at school. You know, being like 15, and these are things he's been sketching since he's a teenager, and then seeing... his name's gone. Ghibli. Guy who started Ghibli. Discussing Miyazaki sketching Totoro at school, because that's how long ago he had the idea for these characters, for some of these characters. So he's core kind of fixed. I like that kind of connection. Off topic, but
a lot of people who have creative minds, stuff kind of sticks up there and whirls around for a few years, and every kind of so often it just kind of pops out into reality, and something comes of it. So
do you think though that some people have like their magnum opus and everything else kind of afterwards just doesn't really hit the mark?
Sometimes I think that's for some people, yeah.
Because it feels like for the last couple of years, I was actually really, really, if they'd have just shown Oblivion, I'd have been really happy actually. Like, but to show that potential new game, it just kind of felt like and I know we've discussed this before, they're exploring new avenues, trying to keep fresh, etc. But this would really like them to get War Machine and Hordes into back of where it kind of was a few years ago, basically. I
think it's in a really good place though as a game.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at something where the tournament scene is about as vibrant as it's ever been. We're back to having steamrollers most weekends up and down the country. You have the largest single player tournament ever that's just taking place in Wales. You've got the WTC, which is still as big as ever. You've got Lock and Load, which looks to be just as big as it ever was. I will say there is one notable exception, and that is we have lost our big British War Machine convention, which is kind of sad, but entirely predictable because no one wanted to take it on from John Webb.
It's still not growth, though. It feels more like still maintaining. I mean,
But okay, is the same not true of almost every other
I think the
miniature
problem
game
is.
at
I
some
think the
point?
problem is that the default comparison is an unfair one.
yeah,
Because
it is.
the country we live in, it's far too easy to immediately look at GW and 40k and what's now Age of Sigmar, and that growth is a funny thing because having now gone, you were at the Welsh Open. Yes, there was a lot of familiar faces there, but there was a lot of unfamiliar faces there too. I met a lot of people for the first time. So growth. I tell you, there's a lot of people who've come into this game in the last 2 years. And a lot of people who've rotated out, a lot of people who I still talk to, who we were playing with a few years ago, or the events are playing Age of Sigmar, or playing 40k, or playing something else. They're still in the hobby. They're still in the hobby as a large. Almost all of them are in the hobby in some form or another. They are just playing other games.
And then you're starting to also see that some of the places that are offering steamrollers are places that didn't offer them before. So Kurt and I went to one in Swindon, which hasn't done tournaments before. They've got a new Firestorm Games store there, which and I'm just gonna say the venue upstairs needs work.
Yeah, it does, but
it's a new venue. They've got time to do it, but it needs some care and attention.
It does, but then it's very similar to other small and more independent. I mean, it's still independent technically.
Yeah.
But it reminded me a great deal of the little independent store I used to go and play in.
That is very true. I would encourage people as part of the scene, go there, play there. It's got a good bunch of people, but I would encourage Rob to maybe spend a little on the toilet. Just spend a penny.
Indeed.
That always has been Firestorm Wales' like.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
Firestorm Wales is fine.
Yeah, I know. It's always been their sort of like attraction point.
Okay.
Really.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
The clean toilets.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's yeah. I will say the store in Swindon is very nice. It's the actual shop floor. Parking, a little bit of a problem, but yeah.
There isn't any. Yeah.
I mean, if you're willing to like walk from around the corner, it's fine. But there we go.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that event as well. James's event was really good.
Yeah. So at this point, I think have we talked about everything that we want to do lock and load wise?
Is there anything else to lock and load? Yeah, I think we have. I think that's all there was. I've just started. I've started watching some of the games that because they've now. I know they're streamed live on Twitch and stuff. I've started watching them on YouTube because I quite enjoy that as well. Yeah, I think we've gone through all the elements of their presentation, lock and load, new stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that said, at this point we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll transition over to an interview that I had with John Garrett about the Iron Kingdoms RPG. Insert stirring music here.
The stirring music.
I have a whole load of licensed music, Benj.
Licensed music. Ooh.
Yeah, you do realise that the intro and outro for this show I paid for, right?
Yeah, I can imagine they do sound very professional.
That they were like 10 quid each.
That was a steal.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, I don't know if I can go on much longer.
Don't worry. I'm using this as a point where I can just have some water, and then we'll come back and do like
Any of the business.
Yeah, any other business, and just finish off.
Okay. Yeah. Because
do we think that Alex is completely out of this hobby area now and no interest in it? We don't know yet. I haven't talked to him properly.
Oh, you know what? If Oblivion had, I really there was something about the reveal that really kicked me in the nuts about Warcaster, and I just can't put my finger on it. Really.
About Warcaster, but not Oblivion.
But not. I loved Oblivion.
Yeah, Oblivion's awesome.
Ended on that, I'd have just been so much more happier in a state of mind. And
okay, Benj. Don't care about Warcaster then.
Yeah, that's where I am.
It's a strange notion of it dividing the player base. And
I don't think it's going to.
Maybe not, because I don't like the look. To be honest, I'm really at a kind of sci-fi saturation point, basically.
I think a lot of people are.
Ages ago, and I'm much more into the steampunk aesthetic.
Again, Benj. don't care about Warcaster then.
Okay.
So a lot of people online are saying the people who are positively engaging with it are people who don't play War Machine that much, aren't really engaged, are kind of on periphery, used to play it, are coming back in because this is something new and different and shiny, but aren't actively playing War Machine anyway. So
It's if it messes with the current plot too much. It just I hope it
5,000 Years in the Future shouldn't touch the current plot at all.
No.
I know. Well, I take it this is the plot that if the convergence,
Or it could be another Riot Quest where this is an alternate future.
I could live with that.
Yeah. So, again, care about War Machine, and if you don't want to care about Warcaster, don't care about Warcaster. It's fine. Everyone is perfectly within their rights to look at something and go, I don't give a shit.
Hmm.
And that's it's one of the things that keeps me like somewhat mentally sound.
When is
that?
I just think I have to balance the fact that it's kind of not. It doesn't feel like they're my kind of company anymore. As in, like everything they're doing, I'm going, yeah. It's just been a success.
They're a company like any other.
I know.
Who cares? I mean,
I don't know. I got quite.
I am invested in Privateer Press from the point of view of I would like to keep playing War Machine, and that's really about it.
I'm grateful for Monpot coming back because I missed that. I was sad when that went away.
I was going to be playing a game this Monday, and I got ill, and I was really pissed off actually about that.
Game of War Machine.
Yeah, because we're trying to get the Oxford Game Club.
Oh, cool!
More people playing. Ben's in charge of that.
Yeah, I gathered that. I guess that's. Yeah.
And I take
one of the guys from Basingstoke, I think, is heading up there.
Is it?
Someone who's just moved down from the north.
Oh yeah, and there was somebody else who's moved as well. So there's a couple of people that are starting to drift in that direction.
So it's just a shame the night it's on because I cannot do Mondays.
It's a bit far for me.
Well, I had the choice of Magic or War Machine. I'm really leaning more towards War Machine again.
I was going to say something. I know what my choice there would be.
Having said, having Infernals was an interesting discussion that I was listening to on Chain Attack, and they were talking about a guy from their local club who plays a lot of Magic and has played a lot of Magic and not got into miniatures games because he's avoided it, and saw the new Infernal models that they got them in early because obviously Jay's really involved with Privacy Press and this guy they described it as he just about got to that point where he felt that he loved Magic more than Magic loved him. And I really like that phrase. It's a really good phrase.
Which is weird because Magic is having one hell of a resurgence at the moment. Like they're calling it the golden years again.
Yeah, but in a way that if you compulsively play a computer game, it doesn't give you anything back because it's pretty two-dimensional in a lot of respects. Whereas the nice thing about the hobby game is that it's multifaceted, isn't it? There is building stuff and painting stuff and playing different ways and.
Yeah, there is ownership. I mean, you've only got deck building, really, and
it's not the same thing, is it? Really,
it's not.
It's related, but it's not the same.
I must admit, though, that sorry, Mike, that the best games I've ever had of any game have been tabletop games.
Yeah, me too.
Have been War Machine related. I haven't really had any Magic games where I can say, apart from one where I literally got to do everything that I wanted and everyone conceded, and that's because I build a load of shit jank decks basically, but that was just fantastic.
Shall we
come
back?
Yeah, and kill it.
I hate to kind of like break in on your reverie there, Benj, but
it's all right. It's all I've got.
I thought because you wanted to go and rest somewhere, we might as well wrap it up.
No worries.
Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed that little talk with John, where he went into his the Kickstarter that he's talking about. Okay, we are now going to move on into any other business and wrap up the show. So, Benj, any other business?
Godzilla,
nice.
King.
Run! It is Gojira.
Yeah,
Godzilla.
Gojira, King of the Monsters, was not as bad as all the critics said it was.
It's a kaiju movie. I therefore don't pay attention to critics.
Who were complaining that it was too much kaiju when
Too much kaiju.
yeah, because apparently last time it was too much humans, and now it's too much monsters, and Mothra looks amazing in it.
Yeah, it does.
And,
Right.
oh, yeah.
Benj, have you seen Shin Godzilla?
Yes.
Better or worse?
Okay, not as good as Shin Godzilla,
Okay.
but King Ghidorah kind of almost gets there. The human plot drags back the monsters because it's a bit silly. Like the human relationships are a bit shit.
It's a human plot arc in a kaiju movie. Of course,
I know,
really.
but Charles Dance's character is really
it's arguably his most two-dimensional part he's ever played.
Yeah, I know. He's just like evil Englishman.
What, even more two-dimensional than the villain in Last Action Hero?
Don't go there, because I love that.
It's amazing, but he was intentionally two-dimensional as just a mustache-twiddling villain.
He is. He's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
In this, though,
way worse.
Yeah, he was supposed to be trying in this, and there was not. It didn't really make any sense, and
it felt like it was just a mechanism just to get the monsters back in every single time.
What I did like, though, is how there was less sort of focus on the human tragedy of it all, and it was just let them fight, basically.
Yeah, for what it was, yeah.
Yeah, because they were like, oh, everything's been evacuated, and you didn't really think about the logistics of it.
Screw Boston, just mess it up.
Yeah, just fuck Boston. Like, fuck it. What's Boston ever done? Gave us fucking... What did it do?
Sanitation, yeah, obviously.
No, it gave us the tea pie.
Tea pie, yeah.
Yeah, that was it. And look what happened ever since, bastards.
Anyway,
from whose point of view, moving on, yeah.
What?
Moving on.
Down with colonials. So, anyway, Godzilla was amazing.
The opinions of Benj are not the opinions of the podcast.
Mike has red coats in his cupboard somewhere, I'm sure.
I think you mean Praetorians.
Yeah, all right, fine, same thing, surely.
Oh, really?
Are you sure? Literally.
Yes, they dress in red, but they are Praetorians. They are Imperial Guardsmen.
Okay, I'm not even going to go into this because we need like.
You started. Moving on. I think we should get.
Never mind. Anyway, Godzilla's good. I bought Scythe, the board game. We set it up, and then we went. We're too tired for this and feel like shit. So we had to play it.
Not the first time I've heard that one about Scythe.
What? Set it all up and then just go. Oh!
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it looks amazing, and the theme.
Oh, it does.
The theme of 1920s.
There is a copy kind of up here behind me, which I've still not played after like 2 years.
A bit disgruntled that the box came absolutely battered from Amazon, and the only option was to send the whole thing back and wait for another copy, and we just but still not very happy about that. Considering it came all the way from Germany as well. And that's about it. I enjoyed watching the Oblivion piece on. Didn't watch the whole reveal. I just watched the YouTube, and there was some fantastic. The art's back on point.
Yeah,
I say there's some fantastic art pieces.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
The whole battle scene again to see that big thing, the Archons.
I mean, I don't think there was ever a dip in the quality art personally.
No. It's just good to see more of it, and with a book, you're going to get more of it. You're going to get.
Yeah, I like
that. That's one of the things I like.
Anthology books. I like the return of the anthology books. I miss those.
Yeah, that is. They realised. I think they've actually. That was their salt. They produced a good book, regardless of whatever the rules were. The lore and everything compacted into one place. You can read it on the shitter.
Here's the thing. I haven't seen any of the Mark III books other than the main rule book.
I've got one.
I was like, other than you, I don't know anyone who owns one.
Oh,
Um,
I've only
and
got one.
yet, I look at Oblivion. I'm probably never going to play the campaign, but
Oh, I will.
that,
No, I will.
that
We'll talk about it. Yeah, we're already
but
planning
that's
it.
fine. But I'm looking at that and going, oh, it's a nice book. Comes in a presentation box. Comes with the as we said earlier, the Dudar of Henchhold.
The Hermit, isn't it?
The
Yeah,
walking bomb, whatever he is. Yeah.
Yeah, the Hermit of Henchhold. Also comes with like the new rules digest. Like,
Yes.
ooh, that's a nice collection of stuff.
It is.
One of those a year. I like that idea, even if they stick with the plan that they made, which was we're not going to do model stats in the books anymore. It's just pointless. But
Which it is.
as long as they do the fluff. One of the things that I am missing, and I'm going to go off on a mini rant here, is I have the Mercenaries book from the days of Yor and Mark II, and I'm attached to a lot of the stuff in there because I read the little 2-page blurb about every single unit in there multiple times. And I look at some of the newer stuff and I go, I have no idea what the background behind
Even
this
Dr.
is.
Nick. Even Dr. Nick, I know nothing about him. He's awesome, but I don't know anything about him.
He's Dr. Nick Verendry. Where's he come from? Other than Lael.
Is he Lael? Is he Nordic? I don't know. He works for Steelheads. I don't know, but I want to know more about him. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's returning to that ability to go. It's like
So
especially when they lost their organ of No Quarter as well.
I don't think No Quarter's much of a loss, frankly.
I enjoyed some of the articles, and again, the recycled. I think Dr. Nick was in that, wasn't it?
Was he? Oh, okay.
I stopped reading No Quarter before even Mark II went away.
I have the Crucible Guard one, obviously.
Yeah.
Because there was no book for Crucible Guard, but there was pretty much a whole issue of No Quarter Prime dedicated.
Which, again, I find it strange that they've released like command books for Signal, but they didn't do one for Crucible Guard.
They should have.
That's the only one. Crucible Guard have no token sets, no official token sets. I know from Broken Egg to do, and they have no templates, and they have no book.
Which Infernals are getting their own token sets by the looks of it.
Yeah. To be honest, right, walking around tournaments, if PP never produced another token set, another spray, another set of 3-inch AoEs or movement widgets, I think the world will be okay.
Yeah, true. I bought the Frozen Forge ones, if I'm honest, because recently
there's probably still a small profit margin in there, but to be honest, I don't think anyone cares.
Yeah, that's true. I think
just going to be the player of a faction was the point where it changed, where Grimkin have got it all and Crucible I've got none of it.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, Ben, you finished your any other business, haven't you?
Yeah, you can take the floor.
Kurt.
Hello. Any
other business?
More Crucible Guard, really. Just more. Playing McKay, trying to get the hang of McKay. Learning pretty much that if you can keep her alive, you win, which is quite fun.
Seems good.
Yeah, because she's a Gert train and she kills a lot of stuff, and she's got more damage output for a caster than most, and more survivability than most. Survivability, wrong word, but resilience.
Did your stuff get any painting accolades at all?
No, not at all. No.
Ah.
No, but did you see what the stuff that won was amazing?
No, I didn't actually.
So I think I came to a conclusion quite a long time ago, probably one of the previous, actually first or second Bones Con, that what I paint is a high tabletop standard. I do not paint to an award level in any regard. If I go to a gaming event that is a gaming event, I've got a good shout of winning best in paint unless Mike's judging it. And
how many years, Kurt?
I don't know. It's probably older than one of my children, isn't it?
Okay, let's just point this out. That was before I moved to Basingstoke. I've been here 5 years.
Yeah, I'm talking about more than 8, so it's fine.
Yeah, but keeping it uniform is quite difficult, and you do a good job. At least.
Thank you. I think I'm good at painting armies, and I totally will admit that. And they're painted to a high standard for an army on the table, but individual models are not exemplary, and I don't put the work in. So I love the old witch that did really well. That work that Ben did that, didn't he? It was just astounding amount of work. I'm not likely to do that on something I'm going to put on the table because stuff breaks and gets knocked. We've all played long enough to know how much stuff gets damaged. So, yeah.
I want to think. I can't remember if it was you that made the comment, sort of a Bones Con or a Smog Con many years ago. But the whole thing of, I think you, what was it? Someone varnishing their figures, and everyone was looking to the painting, going, "Oh no, that can't win. It's varnished."
Yeah.
Which is like, who cares? It's about the painting.
Yes.
And apparently, no, it's not.
No, and so I paint what I want for me, and I paint it so that it looks nice for me. I do take on board still what you said, going back to when that painting competition that I felt, which arrogantly felt that I should have won at the time, certainly at the time, which is totally arrogant. And now it's more arrogant now than it did at the time. And so I enjoy high contrast because being slightly colorblind, that lends itself to my painting. My painting style lends itself to that anyway.
Yeah.
So no, and short answer to your question, Jeb Benj, is no. But I wasn't really expecting it. I put it out because I know I think my army looks nice. And everybody I played was like, "Oh wow, that looks really cool." Because purple with orange and black stripes really does pop. I like it, and the contrast and the metal and the gold and everything is prime gold. So it all has that glow underneath it really nicely. So I like it, and it looks fun on the tabletop, and it's not going anywhere. So yeah, hobby wise, painting lots. I've got James on the table, and she's kind of most of the way there. I don't even know what list I want her in, so she's got paused while I'm painting my second rare list that I finally got, and more vanguards because big train girl that I need to protect.
You want to be like me with was it Mark II version of what's his name, the junior in Mercs, where he gave he lowered the points cost of vanguards.
Oh yeah.
So he went round for me with a min unit of vanguards. It was him and 3 of them, which was just a joy on the tabletop, because the amount of games where he would just sit there on a flag and go, "This is mine." And it would come down to tiebreakers and be like, okay, I double the points for these 3 vanguards, which are counted at full value, plus the junior that's with them. So I guess I win.
Nice.
That was always fun.
I've got 2 new ones and I've got 1 old one, which I'm messing about with now because it kind of broke, so I'm starting fixing it again. And I think I probably will get another new one at some point in the next month or 2. Just to try and have 3, because I've got 3 in the list at the moment, but I have a 4th one if I want it then. Yeah, still really enjoying. I thought after the Welsh that I would want a break and would get trolls out again, and I have bought a few new troll things. I've got bears on the shelf, kind of primed and started, but actually I'm still wanting to play Crystal Guard. Really enjoying it still. Want more different casters, different ideas. There's only 5 casters, but I'm now realizing that I play 2 a lot, 3 to an extent, and actually that I haven't played Locke so much, and I haven't played McKay so much, and both of them need table time.
Cool.
Yeah, and board games, obviously, more of that, but I haven't really painted anything or done anything much more there, really. More of the same, really. How about you, Mike? What have you been doing?
Well, I managed to finally, after years, get Stannis
You
Brocker
love painting,
painted.
though. You do. You love. Do you have any idea how long ago I painted Stannis Brocker? I've got no clue.
So I can tell you when Stannis was undercoated. Stannis was undercoated to go to SmogCon 1. And sat there in his steely goodness ever since. And now he's had paint applied. And he is fully painted. The only member of my Steelhead Cav that is fully painted.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a 4-man unit of Steelhead Cav fully painted. That gives it a date.
From back when you could do that, yes.
Yeah, and I have Stannis painted. So
I've also started painting up what will be my first pirate list, because I'm going to a 50-point tournament at Stafford Barrage start of next month. So it's 50 points with a 40-minute death clock. So I went, okay, who can I take lots of jacks with? Broadside Bart.
Yeah.
Okay, what do I have jack-wise? I've got 2 Mariners, and I've got 3 freebooters as well, and I've got 2 Buccaneers, and okay, this is working. And battalion theme works with, would you guess, Warjacks, weirdly. I just thought it'd be pirate units, but no, it's pirate units and warjacks, which then means you get 3 deck guns
Okay.
to go with the cannon. So I've basically got this entire list. Oh, and a powder monkey. So
Ew.
yes, I can make, what is it, 5 shots every turn that are range. I'm trying to remember if it's range 15, power 14, or range 16, power 15. I've got 5 shots from the Mariners every single turn, 3 of which will be with hot shot.
Ew.
Yes, I've got the Commodore every turn.
I've got hot shot. I know what that means.
It's just the point where you go, yeah, okay, I'm just going to shoot this here.
A lot.
Well, or first of all, I go, okay, the Commodore shoots this with the cannonball, knocks it down. Right, now all my warjacks are going to shoot it.
Are you tempted with the new Colossal?
Oh, you mean the Blockader?
That's the word I was after.
The one that's in the post right now.
Oh, that's a yes then.
Yes. No, I have ordered the Blockader because...
Does seem to lend itself to the list you're just writing. Yes.
Yeah, well, you can basically stick it in there and make it 75 and with a little bit of change about. And
yeah, you go, oh, drop this light and he's in. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's spiffing.
So that's a big yes. Yeah.
So paint up some pirates. Other than that, well, first of all, I'm currently trying to cope with the X-wing points changes because they're hurting my head.
I'm ignoring everything to do with that. It's in the loft.
That's fair enough. And last weekend, I did manage to play one of the rarer experiences you can have in gaming, which is Twilight Imperium.
Oh, God.
Now, this is the thing.
Wait, before the story starts.
If this story starts as long as it takes to play it, we're all
yeah,
dead.
You've got 3 minutes, and then I'm going to bed.
That's fine. That's fine. So, Twilight Imperium, on the outside, looks like an immensely complex machine where there's lots of dice and tokens and things.
Action.
And then what you realise is every turn you can do about 3 things, and most of the game is working with your opponents to make sure someone else doesn't win.
Yes.
And most of the game itself is social. And I didn't realise this, but it's actually a fairly simple game to play. Once you've played like a round or 2, you're fine.
Yeah, but that takes 3 weeks.
Our game took 6 hours.
That's quick.
So 4th edition, from what I've heard, is tremendously cleaned up.
Okay.
It's not simplified.
I've got friends who play it, and they set aside a bank holiday Monday, and they start before everybody else gets up, and they get finished when everybody goes to bed.
Yeah. Well, I think with the 5 and 6 player games, yeah, you probably would find that. But we were playing a 3-player game just to kind of ease us in because we've got a 5-player game next month. And you know what? I really enjoyed it. We sat there at the end and worked out, if you'd done this, and if I'd done this, but what if I'd gone here? And I mean, the points at the end, it's like the winner had 10, and then there was 9 and 8, so it was all really close. And it was a really good, fun game. So what I would say to people is, if the size and just imposing ridiculousness of TI4 puts you off,
yes,
give it a go, because it is a tremendously fun game and well worth at least 1 day of your time.
I've had enough experience of it to know that I don't really want much more.
That's fine.
It's good, but I'd rather, if I'm going to put, I mean, I know it's quicker in comparison. It's a big game, but I'd rather put the effort and energy into Cthulhu, which is over and done with in 1 under 2 hours.
Yeah. But
it doesn't look like it is. It doesn't look like it will be. It doesn't really. You're playing it going, this is never going to end. And then actually you go, oh, wait, how long? What do you mean we started an hour and a half ago? What?
They're very different experiences, though. And
they are.
And to be honest, I can say, yeah, that's just a thing in gaming. I know that, like, I will happily sit there for 6 hours, play one board game, and sit there at the end going, my head hurts. I need to go and lie down. But equally, I know there are people who think the same about games that last more than 15 minutes. So
yeah.
It's a whole broad spectrum of them. And,
that is very true.
Yeah, and I would thoroughly encourage anyone who's not played TR4 to play TR4. What I would say as well is I did go to UK Games Expo and pick up a whole ton of board games.
I saw.
Yes.
All the board games, I think it's fair to say.
Yes. So from what I picked up from UK Games Expo, I've picked up 2 of the games of the Century series: Franchise, Istanbul, Flamme Rouge, Chinatown, Arboretum, and Alhambra, which is like
Good.
some good sort of chunky board games in there. I've also picked up a couple of others alongside, like Caverna, which, if you ever heard of Agricola, it's kind of the sequel to that.
Oh, is it? Okay, where's that? I know.
Yeah.
Agricola I've heard of, not that.
Yeah, Caverna. Do I still have it here? I think
We've discussed this before.
Have we?
Yeah.
probably.
In a dream.
I mean, Caverna comes in a box that's like that and is ridiculously heavy. It's
Lots
full
of card. Lots of card.
No, wooden pieces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all the tokens in there are wood. It is lovely.
Wow.
Right. I think that's all of my any other business. So all that remains at this point is
One last thing.
Oh, God.
Evangelion on Netflix. Why is the dub different?
Oh, okay. Fairly simple. So the dub to Evangelion is owned by ADV Films.
He's the right man to ask, isn't he?
Yeah, it's owned by ADV Films, which by extension means it's owned by Sentai Filmworks. Netflix did not want to pay Sentai Filmworks for the licensing fees. They felt it was more economical to make a dub that they owned. Therefore, they redubbed it. There may also be issues with Studio Kara because they produced the original. Their predecessor company produced the original, and they are having something of a purge of some of the older translations which they don't like.
Okay.
Basically, this all stems from a test screening of the third Evangelion movie at a convention where US fans went completely mad and were like cheering and laughing and just clapping along.
Right.
And obviously,
sounds reasonable.
This to a rather sober Japanese person didn't go down well. They thought the translation was the problem, so they demanded, since that all translations are extremely literal and don't work.
No, it's not going to be good.
No, it doesn't work. There's a reason that you actually do proper localization rather than translation. Yeah, it's kind of a problem.
I must say, I do not like. It was too jarring, and by episode 2, I just couldn't watch it anymore.
Well, here's the thing, Benj. I have the DVDs. So I'm still good.
Well, that's fine for you.
Yeah, this is the thing. Okay, so I'm actually going to see how much that Platinum Edition box set costs in the UK these days, because the last time I checked, it was something ridiculous. So let's have a look. Okay, so Evangelion Platinum Edition is going for around about 200 quid.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I picked that up for 15 quid at a convention because the warehouse had literally burned down and they had nowhere to store anything. So
win.
Yeah, it was a sad day for us all.
Well, thank you for answering, not asking that question.
Yeah,
that's that question.
To be honest, I have enough contacts in the anime industry. I could probably have found out even if I didn't know myself.
Hey, I was just putting it out there more of as a it's fucking awful kind of statement. But now I know it doesn't make it any easier.
No, that's fair enough.
It does make me want to throw in another one, which we should not answer. Live action Akira rumors.
Oh, it's already in production.
Yes. Well, no, it's not really rumor. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll come back to that next time.
Anyway, so Kurt, do you want to sign us off?
You've been listening to Elite Cadre, the Horde's War Machine, Privateer Press, anything we can fancy board game podcast that doesn't take itself too seriously. I've been Kurt.
I've been Mike.
I've been Benj.
Bye.
Bye, Nick.
Hi, Nick. Goodbye.
He might be there to say goodbye to you in the next episode.
Bye, Alex.
Jesus. He has threatened to come back for episode 100.
Alex is literally down in a submersible with Steve Zissou.
I hate that film.
Why? I love that film.
I don't understand why I don't like it.
The first half of that film was like, okay, so far, so
I kind of like everything about it except the actual film.
yeah. It's the fact that in the second half it becomes this ridiculous action flick. And you're just there going, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, give it a chance again.
I really enjoy it, but I can see why you'd hate it, to be
I
honest.
start it. I can't get more than 10 minutes in, but I'm going, what?
Why not? The beginning is brilliant. Like,
Good.
Okay.
I
I have a desire to watch Brazil again in a large format. Well,
in a large form.
Well, in a full-length edit kind of affair.
It just makes it sound like you want to get really obese and watch it.
Hey.
I've got a US version of it with 3 or 4 different edits.
Oh.
Let's see if there's a version of that on Google Play yet.
Oh.
What?
And our answer, no.
It's on Amazon to buy, but
Yeah.
because everything is.
How much is it on Amazon?
It's not expensive.
Oh, well, I don't want to give them any more money after they trash my box anyway.
They trashed your box.
Well, yeah, I've had lots of things shipped recently.
Trashed his box from Germany with his thing and stuff.
Oh, here's the thing. If you got Prime, you can just watch Brazil.
Oh, it's on Prime. I've got Prime.
I've got that thing I subscribe to. You should really know.
We're still there, aren't we? Yeah, I've got Prime. What?
You should know what you're subscribing to. Come on.
If we go off air, I can explain, but I'm not doing it on air.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
I'm watching it on Prime right now.
Oh, I can't watch it in the bedroom. I need to get to bed. I can't take. I want to watch it tomorrow.
Why can't you watch it in the bedroom? Is that just like a no-go area?
Because I've only got Prime in the living room.
Okay.
Fair enough. Anyway, we'll go off air. Thank you for the people who've listened.
Was there anyone listening?
Bye, Byron.
They've removed that from Google Hangouts.
What?
Can't tell anymore. So
You can only tell when they tell us.